Everybody, welcome to Facts Not Included's Tangent Friday episode. I'm your host, Peter Cabranes, and I'm actually going to be sitting by myself today. I wanted to do an episode for you guys. This episode is going to be jumping around in different areas, different spots. We're going to be covering some things that happened during this week and just little things that are happening in my mind right now. Of course, this being a Tangent Friday, it is not a movie review episode. Those come out now on Mondays. Mondays, yes, not on Sundays anymore. Mondays, only because it's a lot easier for the guys and I to get together if we wanted to do a review together, and if not, we'll still get some of the solo ones, but if you want us together, you're going to get it on Mondays. So there's that. So today is Friday. Today being a Tangent Friday episode, I'm going to go into some things. Like I said, we're going to talk about whatever. On Tangent Fridays, I never have anything written down. You know that already if you've been listening to Tangent Fridays since its inception in August. It's not a show that I really prepare for in the sense of full notes like I do for our movie reviews. It's truly a Facts Not Included episode, if there ever was one, So I want to talk about a couple of things. One being, of course, this week was very hard for a lot of us, and Antonio and Mike and I are going to do a huge episode on this man's life. We're going to just cover what he's meant to us and what he's meant to the world. But I for a moment, I want to talk a little bit about him here. Of course, this week we lost the amazingly talented, the genius. I know that word is thrown around everywhere these days with no meaning behind it. But truly a genius, a creative genius, if you will. Stan Lee, at the age of 95, has passed away in California, and it's been a tough year for Stan. At least from our perspective as people who don't really know him, it seems like this year has been really hard on him. Of course, his wife passed within the past year. He was struggling health-wise. From what I understand from certain people, his eyesight wasn't as good as it used to be. Of course, his hearing was deteriorating almost completely, and he was having some legal troubles or care troubles. In dealing with people in his care, not doing the best for him and focusing on other things rather than taking care of Stan. So, this year's been pretty tough, but overall, the man has lived one of the greatest lives anyone could ever ask for. In the span of 10 years, this man had created the entire Marvel universe, basically. Most, if not all, the characters that we love and deal with on a daily basis and wear the t-shirts of and watch the movies and TV shows of were all created in a 10-year span by a man named Stan Lee. Of course, his last name isn't Lee. I think it's Leibowitz or something like that. His first name being Stanley. He had to change it back in the day due to fear of not getting a job for the fact that he was Jewish or something like that. I can't remember the exact story, but he changed his name to Stanley. It was also, I think it was also probably more marketable in that regard. The man was, think about it. He created Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Captain America, Iron Man, so on and so forth. So many characters, Black Panther, Thor. So many characters came through this man's head and onto a piece of paper. The ideas of them, and then of course Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby put them together on a design. So those three men, you have to thank, of course, for our childhoods and whatnot. And Kirby winds up doing something similar to what Stan does with DC years later, and just goes on a clusterfuck of creation. But Stan did it in a 10-year period at a time when. It's really interesting because, before getting into it, because I don't want to spend too much time on this because I feel like the guys and I are going to do a really interesting episode. But if you do want to check out a great eulogy, definitely check out youtube.com/Kevin Smith. Him and Mark Bernardin, him and Mark Bernardin did an amazing eulogy episode where they just talked about their encounters with Stan. Of course, Kevin, went on and on and on because he knew Stan. He really knew Stan very well, and so I highly recommend listening to that episode. If anything, I'll put a link in the description. I don't even care if they're gonna get more views than us anyway. So, and it's not about the views today with Stan. It's all about learning about all his stories. And so, without me repeating their stories, I want you to witness from the man himself, the gentlemen themselves, what exactly their experiences were with Stan Lee. Stan, you were a pioneer. You were a genius, and obviously you will be truly missed. And I'm glad that Stan Lee was given the opportunity to live to 95 and see what the fans meant to him, what we thought of him almost on a daily basis. Stan went to every convention he could. Now, I don't know if he was pressured to go, but he went to go. He was there, and he put on a Stan Lee, which was a character, And he put on Stan Lee for each and every one of us. He took those pictures because he wanted to. It's not because he had to. Stan loved taking those pictures, it seems. And so I want to thank you, Stan, for not only creating something that made most of our childhoods a possibility, in a sense, but thank you so much for enriching our lives with those stories and making sure that it continues on, and you being a part of that is so much more special than anyone could ever ask for. Moments with you. I never got to meet the man because every single Comic-Con I ever went to, it was Stan was supposed to be here, and he canceled. It was one of those. And then there'll be the times he was there, and I couldn't go. I couldn't sucker it up. Plus, I didn't feel like spending money, but looking back at it, it would have been worth it. But anyway, more on Stan Lee in the coming weeks or so. The guys and I are going to be sitting down and talking about Mr. Stan Lee himself and what he gave to us as comic book fans and just movie fans in general. At that, and artists and whatnot, and people that write. He was fantastic in all sense of the word. So let's move on. This week, of course, last Friday, The Grinch came out, and the Grinch did pretty well at the box office. Grinch did pretty good. Other movies, not so much. Whatever. But the Grinch did pretty well. It's funny that we did the review on Bohemian Rhapsody, and there's still people talking about how Bohemian Rhapsody, great movie if you didn't know the story. Terrible movie if you really know the story of Queen. It's really fascinating how people are continuing to realize this. They're doing their research after they leave the movie, and they're like, that seemed a bit too Hollywood. Let me research what really happened. Oh, none of it really, or at least most of this didn't really happen. Someone's take, I forgot exactly who said this, and I enjoy what they said in a sense. Again, I loved Bohemian Rhapsody, but again, it has its moments where it doesn't work. And someone was like, "You literally made an entire movie that the whole ending's Live Aid, which is fucking phenomenal. It's fucking fantastic. You make it perfect." And then, but you waste my time with the whole hour and a half before that, And I don't agree with them when they say that, but they have a point. Like you make it's a totally different movie once Live Aid starts. Once Live Aid begins, like it's a fucking concert. It's a whole different movie. It's really interesting. So I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like that had to be said. Anyway, so something else that happened this week. Which I don't think any of us were expecting. It's also random. It doesn't really make sense. Like if they released it this week, next week, 5 months from not 5 months from now, movie will be coming out around then. Whatever. But like, it was strange that they released it this week and not any other week. It just didn't have like a taste for it. And still the teaser didn't make any sense. Is the Toy Story 4 teaser trailer or the teaser? I don't know what you would even call it. Because it's not even like it's a movie tease. It's not so much that there's a Because you know most teaser trailers these days tease a bit of the movie, like, but this nothing. They're not even showing anything. This clip could have been shot 10 years ago, and they put it together, and they released it today. It just doesn't look like anything special related to Toy Story 4, other than that new Sporky guy. Is that his name? I think his name is Spork or Sporky. Yeah, I don't. I'm excited, but you didn't make me any more excited with this tease. What made me interested was hearing the news a week or two before, which is probably why I guess it made them release this now. It was the idea that Tom Hanks has read the script, Tim Allen has read the script, and they couldn't deal with it. It's so emotional. They kept crying and all this stuff related to the movie in regards to the emotion that you're going to feel when watching it. That has me really excited. Seeing this teaser trailer, though, which is not really a teaser trailer, but whatever. But seeing this tease, I forgot the song that's playing in the background, but it's all like cutesy, fartsy stuff. When they're in a circle and then they get tripped up and everybody starts falling and whatnot, and the fork's like, I'm not even supposed to be here, because it's a whole highlight of the best Toy Story characters, right? And then all of a sudden he's there and he's like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I don't belong here or something. I'm curious if that's like an input as to what the movie's going to be like. I'm curious if that means maybe more characters are going to start feeling that way, that they don't belong where they're at, or some sort of dark ownership or something. I don't know. Like, is the person that owns them now an evil bastard? Like, is it as bad as what's his face from the second movie? I forget the guy's name, but Andy? No, Al's toy. Not Andy. Andy's the boy. Al's toy barn. Is he as bad as Al? Like, what's the deal? Because I know at the end of the third movie, a lot of people say that the ending of the third movie, the hardest part to watching that movie is the burning in the fire, and I don't totally agree. I agree that the fact that they gave Woody and Buzz and on the other toys to that little girl, that's heartbreaking, because it's like a lot of people saw that as, oh, yay, they're somewhere. I find that heartbreaking because they're no longer with Andy. And granted, Andy's in college or whatever, but I find it very heartbreaking that he couldn't keep them or something like that. And I mean, because we've all gone through that. Our moms or dads or whoever took our toys, either threw them out without us knowing, sold them without us knowing, or just asked us and said, "Oh, fuck it, we're still gonna take this from you." At least that happened to me. That happened to me. My mom gave away all my Hot Wheels. I had over 100 or so Hot Wheels gone. Gave it to the neighbor years ago. Kid moved out years ago, right? Gave it to the neighbor. What else? My wrestling action figures, gone, just gone. I don't even know what happened to them. I don't even know the story to that one. Probably also same kid, This kid's probably rolling in so much fucking money right now because of my Hot Wheels and because of my wrestlers that I'll never see them. I'll never see the money. I'll never see it, I wish I could recreate those Hot Wheels and get them back, but then it would cost me an arm and a leg to even get them back anyway, to begin with. I don't even know what they even looked like, but I can only imagine how much money they would be right now. Because I had some Hot Wheels that were older than myself, older than me, so that and plus the '90s was huge, and the early 2000s was huge for Hot Wheels. They were getting a lot of people buying their stuff, and they were huge. Now you go to a Walmart, they have them in a bin for like $2, or $1.50, which is, I don't know if that's a lot for a Hot Wheel. I never knew how much they used to go for. But I feel like it's a bit of a ripoff to sell a Hot Wheel at over $2 in its packaging that's new. Like, if you sell me an old one, of course, over $2. Whatever. Damn. Anyway, so I there's that teaser of Toy Story was interesting. It was cute. It was like 20 seconds. But the one that had me laughing a lot, of course, was the Key and Peele one, where they're both a bunny and a duck or something like that. And it's kind of a very I want to say it's a meta type of thing, because it's possible that they might be in the movie. So they were talking about how, like, have you seen the trailer, or whatever. It was cute. It was funny. I do feel like Key and Peele belong in this universe. It's very strange. Like when you hear their name, like Key and Peele in Toy Story 4, at first I'm like, oh no, they're just getting every celebrity they can get. But then you have to remember, like, the original Toy Story lineup, the original Toy Story cast, you got some big names. You got Don Rickles, you got Tom Hanks, you got Tim Allen, Joan Cusack. You know, she's in the second one, of course, is, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. I'll never forgive myself. I'm going to move on anyway. You have a lot of people that are in the first movie that are big names. But when you hear Key and Peele, when I first heard it, I was like, oh. No, they're just asking whoever to be in this movie. And then, like an idiot, I forgot how talented they were or are. So I was like, oh, okay, good. Now I feel better. But I personally feel that they fit in this universe. Like the voice that they use, the character that they became, they totally fit in this universe. And I hope they're in the movie. I hope they are, but I'm totally fine if they're not. Like I'm totally, totally okay if they don't fit. They didn't fit the story that is Toy Story 4, and I feel like Key and Peele are in this at the time when because you remember Toy Story 4 was announced years ago. It's been probably in development for years, and so this is probably when Key and Peele still had a show, you know. Because I don't think they do anything together now. Because they're so busy doing their own thing. One's a director and whatnot. The other one's still acting and stuff. So I feel like this was like casted when they were still a thing together, like a real thing together. Not that they're not now, but like of course they're still friends. But I'm saying like when they had the show together. So I'm curious if that was a thing then, and that's why like is it a dated casting? I don't know. I obviously. I'm sure they got casted back then. I'm making no sense, am I? No, but my point is, they were likely casted when they had a Key and Peele show together. I'm sure if now they were casted, it would be one or the other maybe getting casted, and not both per se, but it's very possible that it would be both. But I don't know. Stupid little thoughts going through my head with that. But that was really cute little thing. But, of course, the trailer and the teaser, or whatever that you want to call it, that stole my heart, and I hope it stole everyone else's heart, is the Detective Pikachu trailer that no one saw coming as well. Like, I didn't even know that the trailer was coming out. I knew the movie was in development, of course, and I knew the movie was coming out eventually, but I didn't know the movie was coming out next year. I thought it would be at least another year. I had no idea they were finished. I didn't even realize how far down the assembly line this movie was. I also totally forgot that Ryan Reynolds was even involved by any stretch of the imagination. And if I thought he was, maybe I thought he would be the kid. I mean, granted, he's a grown adult, but I feel like he would have been that guy, not Pikachu. Like, I did not remember this being a thing. I only remember, like, years ago, or whatever it was, like, me hearing the news that there's a Detective Pikachu live action movie in the process. I was like, oh no, not good. How is Pikachu gonna look? And of course, probably like most people, I thought they would do like the close rendition to the Pikachu in the TV series and like just take him out from there and plop him in live action, and there you go. But of course, they're not going to do that in the world that we live in today. They made Pikachu with hair. They gave Pikachu furry hair, and of course he has furry hair. He's a fucking rat. Of course he has furry hair. But also, they even made the other Pokemon look fantastic. Like, I don't even want to see, like, okay, here's the thing. I want to see this movie, but I don't even want to see this movie necessarily just for the Pikachu storyline and the story that they're going for. I want to see this movie mainly just to see how the Pokemon look, because Mr. Mime looks fucking terrifying, and he's always been a terrifying character for me, but he looks even more terrifying as a live action creature, and so I want to see how all the others, like Charizard looks phenomenal. He looks unbelievably phenomenal, and so I'm curious as to how the other characters are going to look. I'm really excited for this movie just to see Pokemon, not even to see the story, because the story that they're telling, I forgot what it is already, but it sounded like, we've been there, done that with a detective movie, whatever, Whatever. But the fact that there's Pikachu involved and Ryan Reynolds is fucking Pikachu, you got my money. You totally have all our money. Because you have Deadpool. You have the man that is Deadpool playing the cute, innocent, not so much innocent. Nah, fuck that. Pikachu's a dick, actually. I forgot about that. But the cute Pikachu. Cute Pikachu. And he's voicing him. That's just, that is great. I'm pretty excited for that. But again, mainly to see the Pokemon in this movie. Also, I like the line where you could understand me, and the whole idea of that. And then the guy asked his friend, and she was like, "Yeah, I understand. I'm Pika Pika." That was cute. No, that was cute. But I do appreciate that the Pikachu voice is in this movie, and it's not just going to be Ryan Reynolds talking. I'm sure there's going to be several more moments of the classic Pikachu. Pika Pika. I'm pretty excited to hear that too in a live action movie. Little things that you don't necessarily need for other people, but things that you need for me are something like that. Like I want to hear the classic Pikachu voice, even though it's Ryan Reynolds. And I also, like I said, I didn't think I know nothing about the Detective Pikachu franchise. I know nothing about what that means. I don't even know if there was a game. I don't know if it's an anime. I don't know if it's a show. Like I have no idea what it is. All I know is that I've heard of it, right? And so I'm unaware if in those different outlets, whether it's a book or a show or whatever, does Pikachu talk in them? Because like I said, I thought Ryan Reynolds would not be Pikachu. I thought Pikachu would be Pikachu. I thought Pika would just talk like Pikachu. That's it. Like just sounds, and it's little, it's little sounds that it makes. So I had no idea that the movie would have a English talking Pikachu. And I'm sure in Japan it's going to be, Japanese talking Pikachu. But I'm curious if also the lines would be the same. That's going to be interesting because they do that for a lot of movies, of course. But anyway, I had no idea he was going to be. He was going to be talking English. I also used to think Pikachu was a girl. I don't know. I have fallen off Pokemon years ago. I know a lot of you probably hate me for that, but I have not paid attention to Pokemon in forever. My last Pokemon game I ever played, don't count Pokemon Go. The last Pokemon game I ever played was Ruby and Sapphire. Legitimately hardcore into it was Ruby and Sapphire. After that, I fell off the wayside. I didn't get any games after that. Maybe Emerald, which was the ultimate version of both of them. But that's it. I didn't do X and Y. I didn't Moon. I didn't do Sun. I didn't Sun 2, whatever the fuck it's called now. I did none of those that came after Ruby and Sapphire. Nothing. I did none of that. Oh, Black and White. Yeah, none of that stuff. I think Black and White was the next series after Ruby and Sapphire. I'm not sure. I think it went straight to DS after that. And once, I had the DS, but I didn't. The DS was probably my worst device. I never got any really games for it. I got 4, and that was it. And then I never got a second DS or the 3DS or whatever the hell they did after the original DS. Did not get another one after that. I totally hated that device, even though I used to use it for my old Game Boy Advance games more than anything else, because the screen was slightly bigger. That was all. That was really all. But yeah, so I did not expect to hear Pikachu talk. I thought maybe Ryan Reynolds would play the character that sees Pikachu and is begins to work with Pikachu. But I had no idea that Pikachu would be talking in this movie. So it blew me away in this trailer. I had no idea. But I'm really excited for this movie. It's definitely on my top radar. And then I also, a little tangent here. Big Tangent Friday. We also got our first look at the new Child's Play. Apparently, this is in the works too. I totally forgot about this as well. Child's Play, of course, being the Chucky movie franchise. Child's Play 1, 2, and I think there's 3, and then there was Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, The Curse of Chucky, something like that. Is that I think it's that order. So they're rebooting the Child's Play franchise. It started in 1988, and of course the current thing is still going. I think it's all still connected now. But now this is a total different direction. This new movie that's coming out next year, actually on the same day, it seems like that Toy Story 4 is going to be released as well. So two evil, well, one's an evil toy, the other movie's not about really an evil toy, unless that's where Toy Story 4 goes. But two stories about toys coming to life, dropping on the same day. Coincidence? I think not. But yes, so Child's Play, I'm interested. I'm sure it's going to be called Chucky again, but the new toy is called Buddy. The old toy was like the Good Boys or something. The Good Boy doll or something like that. The Good Guy doll. The new toy is called Buddy, Buddi. It looks very similar to Chucky. Like if you looked at the poster and you zoomed in a bit, he does look a lot like a Chucky. So I'm sure his name is going to better be Chucky. Like come on. You don't fucking change the name. Chucky's terrifying. Chucky in itself. Like I feel me even saying his name right now has me turning around in my room, making sure he's not there. You know. But yeah, so I'm really excited for Child's Play as well, which comes out in 2019. So all these movies and all these things are coming out next year in the summer, around there or something like that. I think Toy Story's in June or something. I don't know. We'll double check with that for you guys later. But anyway, I feel like I've been rambling here today, as always, on a Tangent Friday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And please, 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 please make sure you tell your friends about Facts Not Included. And you are sharing us, liking us, subscribing to us on all our social media platforms. And as teased a couple of weeks ago, we do have a website in development right now. Where we will have all the aggregation. It will aggregate all our stuff into one spot. So it will be factsnotincluded.com. But we'll get there when we get there. And we will announce, we'll have a hard announcement of that website. And we'll make sure you guys go there. Because if you want anything from us, all you'll have to do is go to that website and click on the link or the icon. And I'll send you directly to that place. And of course, that's where it'll be. We're going to be selling merch on there. We're going to be doing some cool things for you guys on that website. But we got some time. But I'm just only telling you about it now only because it's in my head, it's in my mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please make sure, like I said, you let everybody know about us. You find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, of course. Thank you to so many of the people that are listening to us on Spotify. I truly appreciate that. Of course, on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Podcast Revolution, wherever it is that you're getting your podcasts on Androids. Thank you so much. I'm an Android user myself, so I do appreciate our fellow Android users are joining into the love that is Facts Not Included. So thank you guys so much, And of course, the people that listen to us on Windows 10, like even like a regular PC or a Mac, the iOS users, thank you guys so much for that as well. Not having to download it on your phone, but listening to it on your computer. It's really cool of you guys. Thank you so much. And oddly, I noticed this blew my mind. A lot of Linux users out there listening to us. I don't know who we're reaching to that has a Linux, but wow. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for listening to us as well. And for those around the world, hello. How you doing? I don't know how to speak your language. I'll learn very shortly how to say certain things in certain languages. But to my Russian fans and to my UK fans, of course that's English, so hello UK fans. And to everybody listening around the world, what's going on? I know we're pretty big in India too. It's really strange how we are doing over there. I love this. I love the fact that my voice and our voice could be out there in the interwebs and people can just latch onto it and grab it and listen to what we have to say. And so that is why we are creating this community here at Facts Not Included. So I really appreciate all of the love that you guys send to us. And remember, keep sharing us. Keep telling everybody about us. And the more people that know, the better things will be for us here at Facts Not Included. The more content, the better content that we could deliver to you directly. So, again, thank you guys so much. I only said it about 20 times. Peace out. Have a good week.